does it take in an environment where it's not so kind to make wealth? I think the first thing I want us to do is, first of all, to define the word wealth. Define the word wealth. Most people, when you talk about wealth, what they look at is money. When the word wealth comes to you, what happens first is you think of money. But that is not the only thing that happens when you are wealthy. I love this topic a lot because my name means wealth restored. Mutolani, wealth restored. So as we go in today, I want you to come with me and learn and unlearn certain things that will help you to create wealth. Wealth in itself means availability of resources. It's plenty supply of resources. So it's not necessarily money. Money is a derivative of wealth. So I tell myself I'm very wealthy. Do you know why? Because you're in my life and I'm in your life. People, for me, are the most important asset to living and being all God called you to be. So the first thing to being really rich or being prosperous in life is the ability to have great people around you. Great people around you. If you want to be wealthy, you need people. People who've been on a journey before you, people who know what to do, people who've experienced what you're experiencing and can teach you the way to go. So for me, there's a proverb I say all the time, and I teach my children this all the time. People are your best assets. People are your greatest assets. We say it in my native tongue that in your lasho, that is, your clothing is people. They're your best investments, your best assets. So when you want to create wealth, the first question is, who are the people around you? In the world and the world system, they'll tell you that the number of people, the first 5 people on your phone that you call all the time will determine how rich you are. Is that possible? Is that true? I don't know. What do you think? The first 5 people on your phone, the 5 people that you talk to the most, determine if you are rich or not, or wealthy or not. So if I asked you today, who are the 5 people you've spoken to today? Who are the 5 people you talked to yesterday? Who are the 5 people you spoke to the day before? When you look at it and compute it, it helps you to know whether you're with rich people or there are people who take away from you. Now, remember, there are 4 types of people in your life. There are those who add to you, there are those who multiply what you have, there are those who subtract from you, and there are those who divide you. So, if you remember that at all times, when you relate to people, you want to make sure that you only have people who add to you or multiply you at all times. So, stop hanging around people who divide or um, who take away from you. So, my dear friends, I was asking a question just now. Who are the people around you? Have you really looked at it? The people around you, do they add to you? Do they subtract from you? Are they people who drain you, who just call you and talk and talk and talk and talk and don't add to your growth? That way, you can start eliminating them. You're not going to say you're blocking them. You're not going to say you're not going to talk to them again. But look for 5 people who are adding to your life. Make sure you communicate with them more. than those who are taken away from you. There are people who add to you. Thank you so much for putting that up. There are people who multiply your gifts and your talents and your opportunities. And there are people who subtract from your what you have. They come and take away from it. And there are people who just divide you, who separate you from things that will make life more wealthy. Once you can identify the kind of people around you, and you can tell yourself the truth that I think I want to change this group of people, or I think I need to add to this group of people, you're on your way to wealth creation. I'll say that again. The people around you determine what goes on with you. So, for example, you're in an environment where things are really negative and nothing is working, the system is not working. The people around you are saying the same problems you have. There's poverty, there is lack, there's discouragement, and things are just not working. I would suggest to you that you don't stay with those same set of people all the time. How? You would wonder, how can I get out of an environment where it's a ghetto, where the people around you continue to pull you down? It's by reading. Saints of God, it's by reading, it's by pulling yourself out of the way they think and they talk, by exposing your mind to fresh ideas. Listen to podcasts, listen to people who are going in the direction of where you want to go. So look for mentors, people who are doing well. I'm not looking for people who are empty. I'm not looking for people who are noisemakers. I'm looking for people who have value, who have what I'm looking for. And then I start to track them and follow them. I read their books. I read the things they teach about. I sit in that space so they can mentor me from afar. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So, for example, let me give you an example about my life. I have mentors in different categories of my life. I have people who mentor me in this ministry I do. I'm accountable to them. I listen to them. I look for their teachings. And my brother was just joking with me a little bit, a few days back, and he said, "Oh, who are the people? Is there anybody you listen to now?" There's a guy in the Philippines that I discovered. I listened to. He's a very brilliant man. I listened to him. And we laughed and joked about it because most of the people I listen to are dead. How can you say they are dead? Yes, because I want the real gospel. And most of the people who taught then the truth of God's word are dead. So I'm consuming their material. I'm listening to their old videos, their audio files that are scratchy. I know that that's how I get my wealth of knowledge in the kingdom of God. It's through these people. Now, in the area of my health, what do I listen to? Who's mentoring me? I am a very strict person when it comes to what I put in my mouth. I had a sickness, like you know, a few years ago, and the medicine, the people said it was medical, Western medicine said it was incurable. So I had to look for who could help me out in that scenario. And from there, I found people who do natural medicine. I listen to them, I follow protocols. So I am wealthy in my health. You know, they say health is wealth. No matter how much money you have, if you're not healthy, you cannot perform at your optimum. So, in the area of my health, I want to be wealthy. I follow those who know more than I do. In the area of making money, this is now where the nitty gritty is. I have mentors who I have followed for years in the marketing industry, in the online space. And okay, oh, awesome. May I know who you listen to from the Philippines? Wonderful. I'll pull up his name now. Is a Dr. Tan. I hope I get the name correctly. Let me just see if I can pull him up. I still listened to him yesterday. Very brilliant man, and I see that he's a genuine believer. So I'll come to that. I read a lot. I read a lot. In fact, there are times I'm reading 3 books at the same time. So um, it's important you challenge yourself. Don't be stagnant. Don't look at life only from your own perspective because you are limited in your exposure. I'm going to pull up his name now. I hope I can find him. But while I do that, hey, I'll find him. It's a name I couldn't. Okay, she says she knows him. Awesome, awesome. So, by the way, if you're from the Philippines, I have people on my team from the Philippines as well. Her name is Gia, right? I have a sweet lady that works with us in the ministry from the Philippines. So, in the area of creating money, I had the privilege of working with one of the most brilliant minds in the stock market that taught me how to trade the markets. And I tell you, I'm yet to meet someone as brilliant as that man. So in every, yes, thank you, Peter Tanchi. Thank you. That's his name. I listen to him. I love the way he teaches. He's a great teacher. So that's the wealth in my spiritual growth. When you're creating wealth, don't look at your life only in terms of money, because people fall into the trap of going to work, coming back, paying the bills, going to work, making more money. You're not wealthy that way. If you're running yourself that way and your health is not your health is not in a right position, then all the money you're making is of no use. Then the other part that I want you to know, you're in very, very important in wealth creation is in your relationships. Relationships. I tell people I may not have money, but I have people. Going back again to what really is wealth? What really is prosperity? Prosperity is being able to pick your phone and call someone who has an answer to a question, not necessarily your question, but somebody else's question. When you have a network of people with brilliant minds who love one another, who are ready to serve one another, you're a very wealthy person. You may not have money in the bank. So creating your wealth is the quality of life. It's not just money. It's not gold. It's not silver alone. It's being able to know that I can fall back on situations and people who will do for me what I can't do for myself. That is wealth. We talked about 4 different things. Your health. What else did we talk about? Your relationships. What else did we talk about? The power to think, your mind. The need for you to have people who can do for you what you can't do for yourself. So the world makes you feel that being wealthy is having millions of dollars. Do you know how many millionaires are very, very miserable? Millionaires that don't have anybody to talk to. They can't even enjoy their money. Millionaires that are right now on dialysis. They don't have the health to enjoy the money. So creating wealth is being robust all around you, is being able to understand that I may not have cash, but I have credit. When I tell people I have credit with the Lord, that's one of my wealthy places. Credit with the Lord, credit with people, ability to pick up my phone and be a blessing to someone. As you create that atmosphere, create that, you have to be deliberate. And then I talked about actually making money. Next week, we will go down the nitty-gritty. After you've settled all these things we're talking about, on how to now make the money. Not just to make the money, but to preserve the money. Not just to preserve the money, but to multiply the money. Can I say that again? When you start to make the money, how do you create it? How do you multiply it? How do you preserve it? These are words that I want you to ponder over, because we tend to make the money and spend it. We make the money and spend it. How do you make sure you preserve it and then multiply it? You can't do that by yourself. You need people. So when you make money, if you're not wealthy in relationships, you're not wealthy in your health, you're not wealthy in your mind, the money, it fades away. This is why I wanted us to understand that wealth is not money. Money is just one of it. So it's the ability to create and function in a place where you're full, you're robust in every area of your life. And how do you create this? How do you create wealth? How do you become a wealthy person? How can I call myself Motolani? It means I'm deliberate about every single side of my life. I was talking to a minister this afternoon, and I was saying to her, if you want to do what God has called you to do, you must take care of your health. How do I create health? I watch what I eat. I make sure I don't feed my body the wrong way. You're creating health, which is your wealth. My dear friend, if you're here and you still drink soda, what we call soda in America, they call it minerals in other countries. They call it pop in some places. They call it soda in some places. It's not good for you. You're not creating health. And you're not creating wealth that way. I don't have a right to tell you what to drink, but I have a right and the love for you to tell you that is not good for your system. So be careful how you create your wealth. Your relationships, how do you deal with them? Your money, how do you use it? Miss Bali, if I got your name correctly, Duana, she said, my goodness, yes, you can't just put any junk in your system and expect your body to work for you. You're not creating wealth with your health. There are just certain things your body will not be able to take. So this creation of wealth, what does it do for you? It gives you abundance. I go to sleep, I'm satisfied. I wake up, I know what to do. At any point in time, let's start creating wealth. It's not money alone. Let's start thinking in the area of building something we can hand over to others. I would like to take any question. I have 6 more minutes. If you want to ask me a question, please go right ahead and put it in the chat. I will take it. I have 6 more minutes. As the Lord helps us, we will continue next week. If there are no questions or comments, I would like to read your comments. Please, 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 please be conscious of creating your wealth. Be conscious of deliberately creating wealth. Deliberately. And if you do have the opportunity, please listen to Dr. Peter Tan Chi. Is a solid teacher. Solid teacher. And I don't say that casually. I'm very fussy about where I feed. Any questions? Any comments? If you have a private question, you don't want to put it out there, you can send it to 832-612-9991 on WhatsApp. I'm the only one with that phone. I can read your question and I can respond to you.